Republican Senator Ted Cruz got booed and heckled at Yankee Stadium during a game between the Yankees and the Houston Astros. And these videos are wonderful. So I'm going to share some of this, and I'm going to show you as well why this is not just a Democratic voter pastime, but also Republican voters hate Ted Cruz. So I'll get to those videos as well. But first here, let me show you this wonderful screenshot. This is a picture taken maybe by Jesse, I'm guessing here, of Vice, who says, Ted Cruz came to Yankee Stadium wearing Astros colors tonight. The Bronx responded in kind. You see a lot of middle fingers there, thumbs down. I'm going to give you my theory as to why he showed up here. Again, Ted Cruz showing up at Yankee Stadium to support the away team. I'm going to get to why I think he did this, but first, here are some videos from this moment.
Racist piece of shit! Fuck you! Fuck you, man!
You suck!
You fucking suck, dude!
You're a disgrace!
You go to fucking hell, dude! Remember when Trump called your wife ugly? Remember that? Remember when Trump called your wife ugly and then you nominated him?
You're a disgrace
Fuck
to
you!
this country!
You fucking piece
disgrace.
of shit!
Yee. Tough crowd there. Of course, Ted Cruz deserves that completely. This is how terrible, powerful people should be treated while they're in public. These nonviolent demonstrations, these angers, this anger, this booing, good to see this. Now, before I get to any more here, you may be wondering, why would Ted Cruz go to Yankee Stadium to support the Astros dressed in bright orange? This is done, I think, clearly as an attempt to try and appeal to Texas voters. Going into, enemy territory, getting all this anger from the crowd there. He knows it's going to be a media moment. He knows he's going to be recognized because he's wearing the bright orange. He's at this stadium. He wanted this, clearly, as a way to have this moment for the people of Texas to be like, oh, look at this guy. This is our boy, Ted Cruz, going into enemy territory in New York City and standing up to those Yankees fans. All right. I guess this is just another... Ted Cruz is all about the stunts, is all about he is totally full of shit, which is something that even Republican voters recognize. So I'm going to get to that in a second here. First, this brought together Mets fans with Yankees fans. So this is Sheila here. As a Mets fan, I can say in this instance, I am proud of Yankee fans for doing exactly the right thing. Send Ted back to Cancun. Let me get to now a couple of videos from The Good Liars. This is the comedy duo. They often are talking to Republicans and get some funny moments out of it. Here is one that honestly kind of surprised me. Here is a Trump supporter and her thoughts on Ted Cruz. And then you're going to see a couple of other Trump supporters and their thoughts on Ted Cruz.
Back to the 2024 election. You think Ted Cruz will run?
Oh my gosh. Probably.
And you don't seem like a Ted Cruz fan?
No, I just thought he showed his true colors when they had the freeze in Texas and he took his children down to Aruba or whatever.
Ted Cruz Sucks sign?
Ted Cruz?
Yeah. He does suck, right?
Yeah.
He does suck.
Yeah, he does. Absolutely.
It almost is the one thing Democrats and Republicans can agree on in this
Ted
moment.
Cruz sucks.
Absolutely.
Ted Cruz sucks.
We can all come together on one thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Ted Cruz sucks.
So even Trump supporters, at least a few of them here, recognize that Ted Cruz sucks. And that one lady is able to point out an example. Ted Cruz escaping to Cancun. I mean, she said Aruba, but whatever. Escaping his state while his state was in need. How can you recognize stuff like this accurately? You're able to sniff out a phony politician like Ted Cruz, but you can't tell that Trump does the same shit. I think a lot of it really comes down to Trump being a good entertainer. I think that's just what a lot of the support continues to be, that he is essentially a right-wing comedian, whereas Ted Cruz has no qualities. It's like he's just a meat thing that backs tax cuts for the rich. Like he's barely a person. So that really is the only difference there, because otherwise Trump, Cruz, very similar especially in their positions, exactly the same. But it doesn't matter to these voters. Regardless, whatever. Credit where it's due. They can recognize Cruz is phony. Let's go through some of the shit that Ted Cruz has done or said, and a lot of this is recent. So Ted Cruz says Supreme Court clearly wrong in decision legalizing same-sex marriage. Going to, again, his bigotry, his hatred, and really it comes down to, I'm not sure if he personally has any positions, and understand that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter as a public figure, as a politician, as a powerful senator, what your personal beliefs may be. I don't think he gives a shit I think he does whatever the money tells him to. So that's what matters. And that still means you're a terrible person. It doesn't exonerate you. A lot of people I see defenses of, I don't know, people like Trump, or not Ted Cruz really, but people like Trump, where it's like, well, he doesn't really believe that. Or Tucker Carlson, for example, he doesn't really believe that. What matters as a public figure or someone in media with power is what you do with that power. It doesn't matter how you personally feel when you have power. It matters what you do with that power, be a politician, be a media figure. So that's what matters here. And Ted Cruz has, every terrible position imaginable. Ted Cruz defends parents' use of Nazi salute. This is also recent from this year. This, since President Biden came in, tweeting out, this is so ridiculous. By rejoining the Paris Climate Agreement, President Biden indicates he's more interested in the views of the citizens of Paris than in the jobs of the citizens of Pittsburgh. The Paris Climate Agreement has nothing to do with the citizens of Paris. It was an agreement that was put together in Paris. I covered this at the time. It was so, one of the dumbest tweets ever made. But again, it goes to who he thinks his voters are, how dumb he thinks they are to put something this stupid out there. But let me show you a clip here from the Ketanji Brown Jackson confirmation hearings. This is another ridiculous moment, and I'm going to show you some fallout from this as well.
They include a book called Anti-Racist Baby by Ibram Kendi. And there are portions of this book that I find really quite remarkable. One portion of the book says babies are taught to be racist or anti-racist. There is no neutrality.
Yes, babies are taught to be racist or not. How is this a criticism? So this resulted in a lot of, reaction, including this hilarious headline here from USA Today. Ted Cruz was right. Babies are super racist. A Supreme Court nominee should know that. Supreme Court nominee Ketanji Brown Jackson dodged Cruz's racist baby question. But when is the last time you heard a baby denounce racism? Never. They're silent on the issue. So look, pointing out how stupid this questioning is. But a little upside to this story was that this whole moment actually drove up sales of that anti-racist book and other books that he brought up as well. So, it shows you how ridiculous this man is. And again, how it's all about spectacle. It's all about somehow trying to make a moment for himself, trying to get in headlines by saying something outlandish or making some bold claim, saying something stupid. It doesn't matter as long as it's in headlines and people's brains. For him, that's a win. Last thing here, just to be clear about who Ted Cruz is. Ted Cruz to Trump administration, more magic tax cuts for the rich, please. So, of course, that is his entire agenda, as is the Republican Party, not just Cruz. But Cruz is a great example of just how phony one person can be and still somehow remain in power.